Hello, my little dears. I bring you a video you don't need today. For some reason, my brain is always constantly thinking in patterns. So this is where the current video came from. The fact that my brain is always associating things that have absolutely nothing in common. If you are one of those book girlies and by the way, by book girlies, I mean any person who reads a book. If you are one of those book girlies who only reads one book at a time, this video is not for you. Click off. Goodbye. I'll see you next time. If you are one of those book girlies who reads more than one book at a time, I got something for you. I don't know if you've experienced this. I don't know. For sure you have, because I'm not the only person in the world to do anything ever. Welcome to humanity. But have you ever experienced this weird combination where you are reading potentially 30 books at once, like me, or you're just reading two, and they're the most opposite types of books. They wouldn't even ever be in a list together, but for some reason you are reading them at the same time, and it just feels right. It feels right. You don't know why, but you kind of need them both. I have experienced that a lot, and a lot recently, or maybe it's just recency bias where I just remember the recent ones, but this is what I bring you today. A list, tiny list of book combinations to read together. 2 books you should read at the same time for optimal reading experience. And we're starting off with 2 books I have mentioned in this channel before, and 2 books that could have a more different vibe. And we're talking about Normal People and Bunny. Because you see, I want to fall in love with my star-crossed soulmate, and I also want to bring down academic pretentious elites. Actually, maybe they have something in common. Bunny will have you obsessed, will have you consumed, will have you so entrenched in these people's emotions, so in deep in this elite cult that you won't even be able to, come out of the book. You will have your meals, you will have a shower, you will sleep, and the whole time you will be thinking of this book. And Normal People gets you obsessed in a different way, because Bunny gets you obsessed in a kind of way where you're like, what is happening? I don't want to be here, but I can't look away. And Normal People makes you obsessed in the kind of way that is like, I want this too. So it's like, I don't want this, but I have to stay here. I want this, please never end. And when you read them together, it's the perfect reading experience. I don't know how else to explain it. Just do it. You will understand what I mean. The next combination is going to baffle you, and you are never going to experience this because there's no way in hell you're going to trust me and actually pick this up. And it's scattered all over the world, and any book in A Series of Unfortunate Events series, because I do want to feel what it is like to be perpetually homeless for homeland because your country is no more and there are almost no surviving people from your country, so you are literally an alien in the planet you were born on. And I also want to feel the nostalgia of living a childhood that is at the same time very wonderful and hopeful and extremely traumatic. And you may be thinking, maybe those 2 books do have something in common, because this person from scattered all over the earth did maybe potentially have a wonderful childhood that ended up in trauma because her entire country is gone. But that's the only thing they have in common. And again, I can't truly explain to you why you should pair these books in your reading experience, but you absolutely should. And actually, I was reading the second book in A Series of Unfortunate Events while I was reading Scattered All Over the Earth. So yeah, read them. Third combination is one you heard me talking about in this channel quite often, because I'm doing this experiment of reading all of Clarice Lispector's books in publication order, like chronological order of publication, all the while I'm reading her letters. So I get to have an insight into what she was thinking at the time she was writing these books. It's an amazing experience. Go watch my videos about this. I'm having a fun time doing this and I recommend it to everyone. And this combination, I'm gonna say you should try it with any author, like reading the book you are reading and at the same time either reading the letters they published during that time, diary entries they have during that time, anything like that, anything to give you an insight into what this author was thinking when they wrote that book. Because if you are a book girly, potentially you have the experience of reading a book and thinking, I want to talk to the author about this. Why would you write this? I want to thank the author. I want to have a conversation with the author. I want to get inside the head of the author. And by doing this, it's the closest thing you'll get, especially with dead authors. So combination number 3 is whatever book you are reading. Why am I saying reading? Any book you are reading combined with the letters or diaries of that author that they wrote around that time. Thank me later. To share with you the 4th combination and last, I need you to click out if you are a mental health specialist or a psychologist or a psychiatrist of any kind. Please click out. The final combination is the bell jar and call me by your name, because you will be so depressed reading the bell jar. You will be in a pit of depression. That woman wrote so well that she could make the readers feel her depression. That's how well she wrote that book. You will be in a bottomless pit of despair reading the bell jar, okay? So what do? You read at the same time the horniest book ever written. You read Call Me By Your Name and you experience what it is like to feel the soul-crushing, intense passion of adolescence. So you fight depression with horniness. This is problematic of me, so I will make a quick exit. Goodbye.